All right, the channel is live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on so many levels. We're going to play Apocalypse Keys,
Apocalypse Keys.
Yay!
Apocalypse.
starting
Ooh.
a little bit behind schedule due to non apocalypse scale issues, but what are you going to do? We're also not Omen class monsters, as those of us who are playing the game. But I am Christiana Ellis. I am the Keeper of Doors. And our players tonight, David Archambault as Pandorum.
Oh boy. Nothing good is below the level in this place.
Jason Banks as Myron.
Really sure I'm gonna get something to eat today.
Nobilis as John Deere.
That's it. We're all gonna die. Take it from me, I'm an expert.
Paul Weimer as Ningle.
I, Ningle, and the Monsters Division face the opening of the biggest rift yet. Whatever kaiju come through, we have our own. We're set.
We are
Yeah.
hoping that Millie Katie as Lady Dana will be joining us shortly. But in the meantime, let's talk about where we left off. Having been summoned to Island Zero, where they fight a bunch of giant monsters with other giant monsters and teenage pilots and all sorts of other high-tech government, not espionage, skullduggery, that's the word I was looking for. You've been summoned here to try to solve the mystery of one of the pilots and her psychically linked Halama monster suddenly showing signs of possession and then vanishing. You have attempted to solve and explain this whole mystery a couple of times, only to discover in each of those instances that something about your explanation was off the mark and required further delving into whatever lies at the heart of this mystery. But in the meantime, things are not going great here at Island Zero. The power went out and then they kind of got it back up, but there's all sorts of weird energy happening. Some of the dead giant monsters were coming back to life as zombie monsters. Creatures on the island were mutating. And then, of course, just before we left off the last time, the rift tore itself open with the biggest rift class monster ever recorded. And that's pretty much where we left off. So I believe that we had our party divided, if I recall correctly. We had, I believe, Ningle, Myron, and Lady Dana together, with Lady Dana currently Venom-style symbiotically linked to a gigantic chameleon kaiju.
Actually, Ningle, Deer, and Pandorum were in the
Yes. Okay.
were in the hangar, whereas Lady Dana and Myron were headed to the rift.
Thank you for the correction. So
We just
we
uncovered Project Mecha.
yes, that's right. There had been a discovery that all sorts of power systems were feeding down into a region of the base that was not on any of the floor plans. And your most recent key, a secret facility that creates terrifying machines. And so, with Lady Dinosaur hungry for fighting, you have a gigantic tsunami headed for the island as what is probably just the first wave of the giant monster's new attacks. But it does seem like something that might need to be some steps taken. But in the meantime, we have Ningle, Pandorum, and John Deere having uncovered this new area. So tell me, monsters, what would you like to do?
Um,
When?
Right, good.
okay. Well, first, okay, let me do one thing before we go any further, because I need to do my impulse.
Yes, everyone should have selected your impulse for the session if you haven't already.
Um, and with that in mind, I am going to ignore the impending doom of the gigantic monster that's coming, and going to um okay, the unlock Doom's door doesn't have darkness tokens. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
so
So right now you have 10 total keys for complexity 8. So to do unlock Doom's Door right now would be
right,
a +2 roll.
right. So +2 would mean the most likely is a 9. It's the best number to have the
Statistically, yeah.
best, statistically speaking, the best number to have
Well,
to get the perfect hit.
not to mention you just got a key for discovering this facility, so you wouldn't really
Right,
be able to grasp another one right here, right now.
right. So I'm gonna be preparing to unlock Doom's door, because I think that that's more, if we handle that, then perhaps the rest of all these emergencies can be, this is like the root of it all.
Hmm.
Um, so, um, uh, we've already got a line drawn. I'm not sure when that happened, but line drawn from secret facility Project Mecca to the Harbinger.
I think it's
Um,
mine from last time. I'll get rid of it. Or
no, no,
unless you
no, no,
think that's
no, no,
good.
no. I like it. I like it.
Okay.
I like it. That all of these troubles that are affecting um Island Zero are designed to make it fail, so that whoever's behind the mecha can save the day and become like, can like go into the power vacuum and like world domination, infinite candy. um the line goes up. um so whoever's behind Project Mecha is 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 the Harbinger.
Is that-
And we, just because we had the Kayas as the Harbinger before, doesn't mean we can't have her again.
It's
Have them
true.
again.
It just means that your previous explanation for what was happening was wrong.
Right.
But now we have
So,
Project Mecca, and I think I'm seeing where Bill / John
yeah.
is going with
So-
it. That's their stalking horse.
I think it might be actually the door of power. So I think the line belongs with Door of Power.
Okay.
So all of the other lines, well, the sabotage and data erasures and those sorts of things are connected to the possession and disappearance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we also know that the place is like powered by monster power.
Right.
So take away the line from the Harbinger to Project Mecha, because the line belongs from Project Mecha to
Yep.
to
In the
yeah,
door of
To the
power?
dual power.
Door of Power, yeah. There.
Something the Harbinger at least, and
Yeah.
The, uh,
the remnants and its growing power. Another,
could be the Harbinger is a, huh. Maybe the, maybe the Harbinger is a embodiment of the original monster.
Well, remember too that you had learned that the rift opening as a result of the original monster's scream was not a one and done, it was ongoing.
Yeah.
Right.
Meaning the rift being open means it's still screaming.
right.
Yeah. So the so the mecha are powered by the rift energy, and they are simultaneously the problem and the solution, playing both sides against the middle. And whoever is behind the mecha is behind all the sabotage on the existing monsters, and their pilots, and um, and and we will discover exactly who it is, though I think it's still think it's the Kayas, when we investigate the hidden cache of mecha suits.
There is one key that is not linked.
Mhm.
Oh,
Message
message from
from
Luna.
Luna?
Yeah. Let's see.
Deep superior that you narrate. That kind of goes with their clones and remembering things. So,
Yeah,
um,
I think all of that is tied up with possession and
Mhm.
disappearance.
yeah, a
Yeah.
lot is runs through that whole situation.
Yeah. So, the Luna, the possession and disappearance of Luna and Hydra Omicron are all wrapped up with the sabotage of the facility that is put in place so that the whoever's got the mecha can save the day, take
Mhm.
control of the power, and then conquer the universe.
Question about that. What is the door of power opening and resulting situation that you're trying to prevent?
The mecha suits hooking up with the rift power.
And so we suspect they think that that will go great, but
Yeah.
your presupposition is that it won't.
Well, it may go great, but the point is that it puts basically it because there's so many Kayas, like they can each pilot one of them, and they'll just be like this
Mhm.
unified power.
Sure.
That's my completely unsupported theory that I'm putting forward. in order to convince-
Well, that's how this game works. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that the Kayas are also. I mean, having the.
I still suspect something funny going on there, because
I mean,
anybody whose psyche is so well controlled that a whole bunch of copies of them can exist in harmony, there's something funny going on there.
and they keep getting more and more of them.
Yeah,
It is very strange.
Mhm.
So who do we think the unknown pilot is? Do we have any theories on that?
the missing pilot,
Well, the one that
the
gets
original
to be-
Kaya, the
The
original,
original
Kaya,
Kaya.
So
Yeah,
you think
I like that a
who
lot.
went into the rift with her monster,
Oh,
And is now coming back as copies to basically take things over.
So what was thought of as the first Kaya was actually one of the duplicates coming out, you think? Is that the theory?
No, the first Kaya is like still on the other side of the rift sending
No,
copies back.
that's what
Yes.
that's what I
Right,
was
yeah,
saying.
that was
is
that was the first. Yes,
is that
Yeah.
it was thought on this side of the rift that you still had your first Kaya who went on a mission and came back, but what really happened is the first one went over there across the rift, and only copies have ever come back.
Right.
right. She's still on the other side, sending copies, puppeting things,
Okay.
Yeah.
causing trouble.
and that the secret to all of this is to just close the fucking rift. Pardon my French.
No, it makes
Well,
perfect
you
sense
know,
to me.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think there's things are happening at a scale where a little, blue language is not the worst thing that's
Time for a
happening right
colorful
now.
metaphor.
Yeah. So as the first move in this session, I'm going to roll the dice for better or for worse
Mm-hmm.
for Unlock Doom's Door.
All right, we've had a couple of misses so far, but let's see.
And
That's 2.
Disastrous
Yeah.
success. Double success.
Wow.
No!
Okay,
Ah.
another miss.
Another 6?
This
Beast.
is
Another
statistically
6.
further unlikely at this time, but what are you going to do, right? But on a 7 minus, the door remains hidden. The theory was the wrong one. Every PC marks
Oh.
1 ruin. Oh, and we've
Wait,
got
how many are we up
Millie.
to now?
Well, we're
That's
about
the
to tick the
third failed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're about to tick the doomsday clock to 7 of um
Of 8.
of 8 as well. Yeah.
Alrighty then.
Wow.
Oh, hang on. Oh, you know what? I switched to the wrong layout. There we go. Okay. So
Guess who's gonna get a rune advance this session?
yeah. So let me go ahead and advance the clock. Just like this mystery just eludes you so far. It is just not.
Taken 3 swings and failed.
Yeah, it's not working out for you guys so far. So let's see what happens on 7 ticks of the doomsday clock.
Oh God.
That's the wrong one.
Guys, I don't think we've actually ever unlocked the door before the clock has gone down.
No, we did.
You did,
Yeah.
you
In
did in
Manila.
the Manananggal
Okay.
murders. Okay, so the number 7 on the doomsday clock is an intrigue. We cut away and see several rift monsters screaming in silent agony. They are cruelly transformed against their will. A steely voice says, "There is no coming back from this. I'm sorry, my children. This is the only way." And I think that so this is something that is happening at an unknown location, but as we return to the base, there is this big ol' tsunami about to hit the island. Myron and Lady Dinosaur are the only ones who are kind of out there even really aware this is happening.
But we definitely dove in the water.
Well, so tell me, great big tsunami headed for the island. Doesn't seem great. What do you want to do about it? The answer could be nothing. You could just head straight for the rift if you want, because,
I figure I'm going to head to the rift because, well, that's what, if we can close it down, everything else can work.
Well,
Be
bear
worked
in
on.
mind, it will probably be hard to close right now because it's got the biggest rift monster ever currently still coming out of it.
So yeah, I
And
do that.
And
I'm going to have the biggest goddamn meal I ever have had.
Okay. All right. Well, so you are going to need to make a move for me. The two of you together, honestly, tell me how you, but I'm going to need to see a move for the two of you to get through this tsunami unaffected and
right.
continue on towards the rift. So tell me who wants to try something to help that happen.
Let's see.
What's
Thinking.
what's kind of crazy is that they are puppeting the monster. Where if I was puppeting the monster, it would be a perfect position for me. Ah,
Hmm?
I have no brains to to manipulate. Wow.
I mean, you have a very malleable body.
Sure, but too many pilots in the cockpit means we might blow
Mhm.
this thing up. Hmm. Let me see. How close are we to the very very large kaiju?
I mean, I think it's here. Here's the mix is that it is still a little ways away, but it's so big that it's starting to like. Basically, this move needs to get you through the tsunami, after which you can start trying to do things that might affect that monster.
Okay,
It's a move away, is how far away it is.
we'll spawn it.
Only a move away.
Mm-hmm.
Let's.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I'm thinking kind of for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, what's trying to think the name of the myth. Actually, there's a few of them that involve swallowing the river or swallowing the ocean.
Ooh.
So for me, that's probably just going to be a basic unleash the darkness move.
Well,
To
I'm going to I love that. And so let me tell you what I will offer you here is you can do an unleash the dark move, and if you
Mhm.
succeed on that, it will be straightforward. You manage to sort of consume enough of the approaching wave that you essentially sort of like eat your way a hole through it and
Oh
end up
wait,
on the other side. But
I actually just thought of something perhaps a little bit better.
okay.
Basically, the idea of like taking it in and then spinning it back at the monster to see if I can push it to the back through the rift.
Well, so what I was just going to say is the other option of just kind of eating your way in a hole through it and being on the other side is if you want to push the limits of your supernatural powers, straining
Oh
to do the
yeah,
extraordinary, then I think that this idea of swallowing the ocean could become a little bit more literal and less figurative. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it might not be literally the entire ocean on the whole planet, but enough as to have it be a substantial, notable difference in the current situation, not
right,
just you on the other side of the tsunami.
right. So, let's see. So yeah, this is sounding like more perhaps power through darkness,
Mm-hmm.
and my idea is basically to like swallow as much as I can and spit it back out, but first I have to manage to swallow it.
Yeah.
Right.
So tell me, the water that you are focused the most on consuming, are you trying to essentially swallow the tsunami so that the tsunami is gone? Or are you trying to expose the rift?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Because you have to choose
Yeah.
one or the other there.
I think I'm honestly going to go with exposing the rift with the idea that whatever water I take in, I might be able to use as a water cannon to push it back through.
Okay.
But I need to be able to see what I'm aiming at.
Sure, sure. Okay, so let's see a power through darkness move then.
Okay. And I am going to um spend a two bonds. Not
You mean
wait,
darkness?
not
Well, you
sorry.
don't have to spend any. Yeah, so
They're
choose how
not yet.
many darkness tokens you spend. But
I'm gonna spend all three that I've got because I want this to work, and I've got bonds to bring it down if I need to.
Look
Perfect
at
hit.
that. A
Oh.
perfect hit. You use your powers with great precision and effect, changing the situation before you. Additionally, the keeper may offer you reprieve, a golden opportunity, or a bond with someone. So I think this is, as you know, to borrow the word that you started with, a mythological type of event here, because as you channeling the rift's own power through the expression of this gigantic lizard creature that you are bonded to, and the supernatural hunger which defines your being, you begin to drink the ocean at a rate that exceeds the water's ability to fill back in the hole.
Mhm.
And as you know, you know this is happening and what you're trying to do. Myron, I want to know what's your reaction as you ride this creature and watch it begin to drink the ocean so fast that it's essentially like a parting the Red Sea situation.
First, when the mouth opens and I realize that it's not chlorine gas anymore, and I'm looking at this mountain of water, and as I scurry out of this mouth and watch Inverse Moses,
Yeah.
Mm,
I am like, I think she wins.
Well, we'll
Yes!
see, but yeah.
Yeah. You know, there is, after all, a common knowledge, bit of wisdom that you shouldn't drink seawater.
See-
So,
Yeah, that's part of the reason why the second part is that canon.
Man,
Yeah.
hoisted on my own petard.
right.
I-
So I think that you, as you are consuming this extraordinary amount of water, are now exposing the ocean floor before you, and then eventually this flickering, fizzing rift that you can hardly see any opening of, because currently emerging out of it, like it's having to squeeze through a tunnel, is a mountain-sized monstrosity that seems to constantly change its form even as you watch it. Its teeth and tentacles and claws and eyes and mouths and slime, and it's just, but like it's just this roiling, like its form is not even like settled or solidified yet. It's just emerging from the rift, but that the water has now drained from around it, and you can tell that there's not a lot of time for this, right? Because the rest of the ocean is going to begin to move in to try to refill this area, but you were able to drink it so fast, you exposed it. But meanwhile, you did not choose to consume the tsunami, so it's hitting the facility. And all sorts of alarms begin to sound. Waves of water begin shattering all of the glass windows, pouring in through the hatches that usually the monsters would climb out of. Hallways are
Lord.
being flooded. Everyone is trying to seal blast doors and all that sort of thing. But down there at the very, very lowest point of the main facility is Ningle Pandorum and John Deere,
John Deere.
Yeah.
who have found this hatch, put together a whole theory of like, I bet I know what's happening, and then let's see what let's try to figure out what it was that convinces you right away that something about that wasn't right, because you were hoping to go down there and confront. Oh, okay. How about this? You so I think probably the most immediate way to get to safety from this onrushing flood would be to just go ahead and go down and close the hatch behind you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's
That-
what
that
I
was
had in
our
mind, yeah.
plan.
Mhm.
But so the whole theory was that they were building up Project Mecca to be the new replacement, right, for the Halima and the pilots. And so the sabotage was for those things in order to make the Mecca look good when it restarted. But I think what you find when you get down there is this place is old. It's not
Derelict.
new and currently ramping up. It looks like it's been mostly decommissioned.
Right. Okay. So, I'm going to jump down and I'm going to tell the buddies, seal up that hatch so we don't get interrupted. And while they do that, I'm taking four darkness tokens for telling other people what to do.
All right.
Um,
Before you
While
make
they do
another
that-
move, though, let's actually give them a move to try
Okay,
to like
all right.
who wants to try to seal the hatch that is about to now get deluged with thousands and thousands of gallons.
That
of
would be
seawater.
that would be the strong one out of this. That would be me.
Oh,
Okay.
I was gonna say Pandorum. I would basically be like, let's see if I can make this rust shut.
No, no, but Mingles is to go for the straight brute force approach.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so
Alright.
I guess it.
Well, you've got a plan B if that goes wrong for some reason.
Yeah, I got plan B. So okay, so I'm gonna unleash the dark through anger and violence. So I'll start get the 3 tokens, and now we are going to let's try I'm angry, so I'm going to really gonna go for this.
Okay.
Disastrous
Disastrous
success.
Your control falters and you go too far. You get to choose one of those the items from the perfect success list.
Avoid reprisals, harm, or cost. Basically trying to keep the water out, basically. But
Well,
I'm gonna
okay. Because I think of that as like you would be not hurt, you wouldn't receive a condition, right? And so that, for example, might be something where I would say I don't inflict a condition on you, but the hatch is not closed.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay. I
Like
don't
that
want
might be
then.
how I would
Okay.
normally interpret that. But
Okay.
we can figure out
To gain the upper hand for now?
that certainly would do it.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
basically I'm holding the thing shut by force of will, basically, I guess.
I think, yeah, okay. How about this? That is what happens is that you go for the brute strength, but you do it too hard and you warp the hatch.
Oh.
So
Oops.
you are able to hold it mostly closed, but not only will it not seal, so you have to keep holding it, but also there's a leak
Oh
that
no.
is going to start flooding this part of the facility. So, but you have slowed it to essentially a trickle for the moment,
But
but you
yeah,
have to keep holding it.
I have to keep holding it. Or
Yeah.
else.
So, Pandorum, do you have like a response or an assist?
Or backup plan.
Let's see. Hmm.
I just went to see
I-
The Abyss on the big screen, and it was great. But one of my favorite parts of that movie is when they're in the little mini sub, and there's just a small leak. And at first, it seems like, yeah, this is fine. We just need to get the leak stopped. But oh no, it's going to take them a really long time to get to us. And we only have one dive suit. And and we can't get to where the leak is. And gosh, it's starting to get deep in here.
Let's see. Oh.
I mean, you don't have to do anything right away. It's just going
Yeah,
to
I
stay
think-
in this current spot in the meantime. Otherwise,
I think I. Oh man,
You want
I
to
think
slow down the leak?
I I think yes, he's
Mm.
going to basically attempt to slow down the flow of the water in,
All right, cool.
and uh, and that's gotta gotta be you know, unleash the dark,
Yep, yep.
and I only have one darkness, so
Whoa, okay, that's a
Oh boy.
3. That's a
oh
3. So that is literally the snake eyes roll on the dice.
yeah,
I don't think you probably have 5 bonds to spend. Although you
well,
do have the I don't know if you have a bond with Ningle.
You have
Ningle's
a
got
bond
that
with
special
me?
3 worth 3, but
Yeah, what are your bonds looking like?
I could spend a bond with Ningle and spawn a bond with John.
That would
is
get you a
that would
7.
still be 4 though. That'd only
Seven.
be it's not quite enough.
You don't have enough. You don't
Yeah.
have. That's the only bond you have.
Right? Hmm. I actually have 3 with John.
Mm.
You,
You
you
know
could
what?
spend 2 with John and 1 with me and get it to an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is John and Ningle that you're down here with
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
protect. Uh,
That
oh well, yeah. I think you're adding the 5 to it, and so but you have the roll already, so it's
Yep.
um
So yeah, so that's an 8.
yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, so with making it an 8, that makes it a success. So you wield the darkness with control and ease. You slow down the leak to a mere trickle. It's
full of a trickle.
yeah, it's essentially just a really annoying drip from a leaky faucet now.
It's probably hitting my face. Almost.
But so you can choose 2 of those things, assuming that like one of them is essentially
Get
to
what you want.
make that happen.
Yeah. So you get what you want, and
Hmm.
um,
Avoid
avoid reprisals, harm, or cost.
that makes sense. So, like, tell us a little bit about like what's going on in Pandorum's head that you are leaning so hard on your connections to Ningle and John that you're able to overcome what would otherwise be something proving very difficult.
Flashes of times in past lives where you know where I tried to uh, I tried to help save people and failed, and just you know, and knowledge that I did not have this power in those situations. I have this power. I can do this. I am, you know, I am the last, and the last I will remain.
All right. So, thankfully, thanks to your friends here, John, you are not about to be, submerged in. Um, we've been just saying seawater so far, but bearing in mind that this is seawater that has now made its way through the rest of the facility, so God only knows what sort of debris and or chemical contamination that
Oh
has
yeah.
um, filled it now. But you are now able to take a moment to do something else if you would like. You're muted again, I think.
Sorry. Yeah, I am going to pull out my tablet and uh, all of these mechs, all of these machines, I am going to power with the soul magic that's been entrusted to me to send an army of these things out to support the fight against the gigantic monster.
I love
Um,
that.
Do
I
you want, do you want a, do you want Unleash the Dark or Power Through
I
Darkness?
think that's it. So if you wanted one of them, that would be Unleash the Dark. I think
Okay.
for the whole fleet, that's Power Through Darkness.
Okay,
I
so
love it though.
I will spend 2 tokens. Um, and here we go.
Look at
Perfect
that.
hit.
Perfect hit. Perfect
Okay.
hit. And so you use your
Yes.
powers with great precision and effect, changing the situation before you. And I think you realize that all of these mechs down here, partially decommissioned though they may be, you have some facility with not only electronic sort of
Mhm.
machinery in general, but also bringing dead things,
Yes.
where
Yeah,
they need to
that's,
be.
I was definitely thinking in those terms.
Hmm. And
Um,
so
yeah,
a so here, tell me what these mechs look like. So
okay.
I think that probably they have a variety of different sort of phenotypes, so to speak, in terms of
Yeah,
like the shape and size of the mechas themselves. However, what I also want to know is, what does it look like when your power animates them?
right. So, okay. So start with a, does the name Jerry Anderson mean anything to you?
It sounds familiar, but I'm
He
not
was the
sure.
Thunderbirds?
model, he was the model maker for UFO and Thunderbirds and just like this whole raft of late 60s, early 70s science fiction television. So this entire place was originally Jerry Anderson,
Got it.
except now it's getting a um a makeover. Um Give me just a moment to get the right name. Um by Tim Burton. So, and this, everything has been laced with these white lines that are like connecting them together like marionette cables, but also like running along the surface
Hmm.
and like uh, 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 um, spots glowing like eyes on them because like there's no human pilots on any of these things. They've been woken up. This is soul magic. I have pulled
Hmm.
souls in to inhabit all of these things. Um, and a deep basso chorus rumbles through, and they go, let's go.
Oh boy.
And a hatch at the far end of the
Yeah,
hangar
they all have
opens.
like torpedo launch tubes.
Yes, yes. And the hatch opens at the far end, and just one by one, they sail out into the ocean.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, uh Sail, no, uh,
Shoot.
drive out into the
Yeah,
ocean.
like they are fired out.
Yes,
Yeah.
to assault the giant monster out there.
Incredible, incredible. So, I think there was some discussion in chat that the perhaps let's see, Bhagirath swallowed the river Ganges, Agastya Muni, Hindu, and then Charybdis for the Greeks. And in particular, the reference to Charybdis made me realize that a gigantic whirlpool is, of course, what this would look like. As Lady Dinosaur is consuming so much water that it's literally exposing
Wait a minute, does
the.
that make her Skilla? Skilla heard this?
Yeah, I'm basically channeling both of those at once.
Hmm.
Oh,
Like one the
wow.
swallowing in and the other popping out. And also currently driving through the well, I'm not driving, but currently going through the end of nowhere western New York, so my phone signal might cut out for
Okay.
a moment.
Well, hopefully not. So I think what's happening, at least in the short term here, is that I think that I'm delaying you spinning it back out for a moment in the interest of maintaining a very cool visual for a little longer. But I think as you are finding it so, um, I think the power you are feeling in your ability to do this is kind of heady and exciting, and so you kind of keep going with it for a bit here. But in the meantime, um, all of a sudden you're watching, Myron, as a fleet of giant mecha that are, colossal in stature, the smallest of them 40 feet tall and ranging into considerably bigger than that. But even then, all of them still dwarfed by this mountain-sized thing that is emerging from the rift right now, have just suddenly shown up and immediately begin harassing the monster. For the moment, all they're doing is attracting its attention. Like they're just doing like a lot of like quick hit and run, but it seems to have distracted the monster's attention. So Myron, what would you like to do?
First, I'm going to use Crowned by Dream, Exalted by Nightmare to make a weapon. It's like a spear, kind of like a big pointy barbed spear or javelin.
Okay.
And then I'm going to prepare myself.
So this is a ruin move, so you are marking
Oh.
ruin to do it. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be working a lot of ruin.
Sure.
And I'm going to prepare myself for when the jet of water comes out of my compatriot towards this large creature to ride it triumphantly towards this thing for momentum.
Incredible. I love that
And
deeply.
Are we
Because-
having like a ride the nuke on the way down a la
Dr. Strangelove?
listen, I
Yeah.
like Steve Buscemi, so
A souped up fastball special.
Hmm.
and on top of that, because I like marking ruin, I want to mark 2 more ruin
Whoa.
using
Whoa.
using my Let Sleeping Gods line.
Okay.
So that means I have to click my own personal doomsday clock twice.
Mm-hmm.
And what it says is you wield cosmic dreams of terror like the sharpest weapon. Inflict a specific vulnerable target with horrific hallucinations, and bring one of those nightmares to life. In addition, gain 1 bond with my true cosmic form. So
Okay.
I'm going to basically hold this so that I can then attack the creature at the moment of my impact with it.
Wow. All right.
And we'll see what comes out of its nightmare.
Yeah. What does
Holy.
I was just gonna say there's I didn't want to say King of All Monsters because that's like probably a copyright thing, but there's
Duke's dream of a
no, that like there was in the book there was like an example like name, just say the monster queen maybe. No, it was something else, but you know what? It's fine. The point is, what is its horrifying hallucination? What does it have nightmares about? We will see, I suppose. So I think then that perhaps it is time for the. So I guess, Lady Danasaur, are you ready to propel all of this water back and have?
Yeah, I'm
I don't know that you're necessarily aware of Myron's plan, but
no, I'm not.
yeah.
unless he's had some way of telling me,
Mhm.
I have no idea what he's about to do. I
Right.
haven't told him what I'm about to do.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm just going to basically water cannon everything back.
And
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
oh, I forgot to say, I'm also taking darkness tokens because I'm very frustrated that I did not eat I'm very frustrated. I'm taking 4 because I'm very frustrated that again I lost this. I've been eating things this whole time and I lost.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, so I think that I'm going to need another power through darkness move, because it would be one thing to say all of this water that you've eaten, just like let it go. You've built up the pressure.
Yeah.
But here's the
No,
thing:
but
like
I'm
I
trying to
think
I'm
spraying
trying to
back
aim
out
it.
something you're eating, like that's against your nature.
Yeah.
It's also a question of like how much power like this represents, and are you able to do it in a way that's like targeted in an effective sense, right? So that's
Yep.
why it's not a trivial thing. um, but let's get another power through darkness
All right.
move.
This time I'm only gonna spend 2 because I have a funny feeling. And let's see how this goes.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, I sh-
It's a miss,
it-
but it's a miss with a 7.
yeah. So I'm going to spend one of my bombs. Let me pull back up. Um, I'm going to spend one of my bombs with darkness because I'm deliberately trying to let go a little bit of that connection to the hunger
Hmm.
to force this through.
Okay, okay. I think, yeah, like I want to hear a little more about that, because I think normally a bond with what the darkness demands would be something like it would help you do something that it demands, right? Which I'm not telling you
Yeah.
you can't do here. I just want to hear
Yeah.
you talk through
This
it a
is
little.
like I'm spending it by trying to reject it.
Mhm.
Well, you know,
Um,
if you don't get rid of this water, how are you going to eat that kaiju?
yeah, there.
Right.
Well, if there,
Well, I think maybe that's part of the conflict here, is that the water is intended to push it back through the rift, at which point can it still be eaten at all? But in any case, spending the bond will make it an 8 to 10, so you use your powers with great precision and effect, changing the situation before you. I think we know what the result is, and so I will refrain from describing it, only just in the sense that you suddenly Spaceballs. She's gone from suck to blow. You suddenly reverse the direction of all this water, and it becomes this high pressure water cannon directed right back at this creature emerging from the rift. But as it heads for, we slow down and zoom in on just the leading edge of this water cannon, because right there is
it's
Myron
Myron.
with a spear made of darkness.
I'm
And
providing the impetus for the fastball special. Got it.
yeah. And so this spear made of darkness was a ruin move, so like there's no roll for that. You just made it, right? And then likewise this other move that you described, which was
I figured to hit this
Yeah.
thing, I would definitely have
let
to hit
sleeping
a
gods
power,
lie. Yeah. So
power
this
through
is
darkness.
right. So when you for let sleeping gods lie, you mark 2 ruin. You take the dream ends twice. It's not full or anything, right?
Oh, not
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. You wield cosmic dreams of terror like the sharpest weapon, infect a specific vulnerable target with horrifying hallucinations, and bring one of their nightmares to life. In addition, gain 1 bond with my true and cosmic form. As in yours,
Yes.
Here's what I'm going to present to everybody. There's only 1 tick left of the doomsday clock. I think the hallucination brought to life has to be of who is the real harbinger, right?
Okay, sure.
So let's do one
One
last
more.
unlock
Right.
Doom's door move, and
Yeah.
either you will be right and the hallucination will take the form of that being,
Yeah.
or
Or,
you'll be wrong and you'll find out who it is really.
Okay.
all right, here we go again.
I have a new harbinger.
Who's your new harbinger?
It's the screaming first monster.
Okay.
Okay.
And psychically, it's been influencing people, erasing memories, causing 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 sabotage, unwittingly, kind of mind control sabotage type things. And it's just trying to get free, but if it does, doom.
Boom. So 8 goes to the harbinger.
Right.
Got it.
Do you want me to draw lines?
Yeah, you can draw lines.
Okay.
One person draw lines, you draw lines.
And so the sabotage, all right, I'm gonna need your help to draw the other lines though. I'm just drawing them. You guys tell me what to draw.
Right.
So, for this, if that's a situation, I would say that, um, hmm.
Well, if the
Well,
monster, well, go ahead. Sorry.
Secret facility, I would say that goes to the Rift because it's basically one of the early attempts to fight it,
Okay.
to control it,
Right.
because that, yeah. I'd say transferring power, probably the door to power, because that
Okay,
would
yeah.
that'd be a way
yeah.
for us to open it, or for them to open the door.
Think the evidence of the false memories could be the harbinger trying to keep people off his trail or their trail.
Yeah,
Basically a psychic attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because to try to cause disruption amongst the connections between all the creatures and pilots and all that jazz.
Okay, so
I
what
was
was,
saying like the ritual to open a small rift and transfer powers from monsters to humans. Number 9,
mhm.
door to
What is
power.
that? What does that go
But-
to?
Door to power.
Okay,
Door of power. Actually, honestly, number 6 actually also works for that.
Yeah.
that's number 6 is already connected to the door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll keep it that. People have been trying to open rifts for a long time. That goes to the rift. That basically is what started this whole thing and has
Mhm.
provided the monster the opportunity here. Messages from Luna.
Number 3.
Yeah, that goes to the possession. That's easy. Discarded clones of Luna and her monster also goes to possession.
Mhm.
Data erase that also goes to possession.
Sabotage. Number 1. That would go to Harbinger.
Yep.
And let's see, number 7 also go to Harbinger.
Right. We got a couple things going on here with him knocking out memories. Plus, we have this whole clone project, and it's kind of all clashing together all at once.
And it's not particularly well thought out because it's a screaming
It's
semi-conscious
a-
monster.
Right. That just wants to be free and end the world by coming through. So
Mhm.
It could
It's a
even
very-
be the monster that is currently coming through the rift.
Yeah.
it could be.
So
Faced with the nightmare of itself.
the idea then that the possession part of Luna's disappearance is that it was this monster, the Harbinger,
Yeah,
that possessed her.
Yep, and it has possessed people all throughout in order to get the sabotage that it needs done.
All sorts of things it has been doing through them and then leaving them with false memories of
Exactly.
what happened.
Exactly.
the little portals were just small attempts or failed attempts potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the ritual to open small rift and steal transfer powers from monsters to humans, like how do we think that figures into its plan? So we can imagine that the rituals are happening because they're being directed by this first monster,
Yeah.
but why?
I think it's bleed over. It's like bits of knowledge left behind that after it's had its influence,
Hmm.
and people's subconscious trying to make sense
Okay.
of what they've got, and
These little shards of power and things, yeah,
yeah,
lodged into them after the possessions.
right.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I'm just I was looking up just for my own memory. Just because it's been a while since we talked about it, Luna's words during that last recording were, "The apocalypse comes, together we will remake this broken world."
Yep.
Mhm.
All right, so
Who wants to roll this?
I
My
will.
luck has not been great.
I'll roll it.
okay,
Okay.
look at that.
Perfect.
Finally! Finally! Finally!
On the fourth try.
Fourth try!
Yeah. But so what that means on a perfect hit for Unlock Doomstore, if I could have the bright page up, that would help for me
You
to
have
be able
tracked
to read.
down Doom's store. You know exactly where it is and how to unlock it.
Yes.
In addition, the Keeper will present an opportunity to protect what matters most, take down the Harbinger, or otherwise drive back the apocalypse.
Right. So I think all right. I think I don't think anyone will be disappointed with this.
Okay.
I think that Myron will probably appreciate this. That when you begin to channel your psychic connection into the monstrous alien mind that this creature possesses, as you form this connection, looking through the strange, dreamlike schemes and plans and thoughts that are so different from, the human minds that you've encountered before, and yet your ability to connect with what causes fear in this mind and manifest it, you realize that right now its biggest fear is you. And as your power channels that fear, you begin to grow to giant size as you are propelled by this stream of water directly at this creature. You begin to grow to an enormous size as well, still bearing this sphere of shadow, swirling with the manifested, made real hallucinations of this creature. And the scream, which had been in many ways metaphorical up to this point, becomes all too real as a just psychic shockwave of terror emerges from this thing and ripples outward. Like you can see, it would be one of those big wide shots where you see the shockwave just going out. But you, I think, are now yourself kaiju sized, bearing this enormous spear, literally have manifested yourself as the greatest fear of this thing. I would like one more move to try to, well, so I
yeah.
assume that the goal here is to shove it back through the portal, through the rift.
Well,
Tell me if you want something other than that.
Shove it back through before I can eat it.
Right. Or eating
Yeah,
yourself.
we don't want her eating that. That would probably be bad.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure if I can.
What have you got? What have you got? What have you got? Drop it! Drop it!
I mean, I technically could create something to infect its dreams as I push it through, so that way it never opens the rift again.
Hmm.
But that would also mean that this thing would propagate into nightmares for all eternity in this
Yeah.
other world.
Well, here's the other piece of what you know right now, I think, is that right now, the rift that all of these other creatures have been manifesting through is kind of being maintained by this creature in this sort of psychic scream. So, in some respects, just pushing it back through and leaving it in this state, like you can force it back through, but the rift will still be there. But at the same time, it could also be that forcing it back through is just a first step, like it's what you're doing right now. You have your friends here to help you. So, my point is, you are at the precipice of being able to make an incredibly effective attack on what would otherwise be something almost impossible to even affect. But I want to know what it is that you want your attack to do to it.
So, I have. Let's see here. There's one call I have called. This is why I've been taking Ruin, guys.
Notice that.
It's called Walk With Me in Dreams. You have learned how to travel through the portals that connect all dreamers, even locations, objects, and harbingers. Basically, if I can hit this thing, I can implant a suggestion that shifts reality. So I can make it think that it does not want to keep this portal open, so that it then works against its own
Yeah?
ambitions.
Okay.
That's if it works.
Yeah. Let's find
If
out.
it doesn't, oh god.
So yes, you have learned how to travel through the portals that connect all dreamers, even locations, objects, and harbingers dream. When you seek out insight or wisdom in dreams, spend darkness tokens and roll.
You know what? YOLO. We're gonna go with max 3. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
Look at that. Perfect hit.
Woot!
Nice.
10. You find exactly what you're looking for, and you can choose to, as you mentioned, unearth a secret, implant a suggestion that shifts reality, hide something in the dream, bring back something from the dream, or declare an irrevocable truth about the mystery. But that one kind of doesn't matter so much because we've completed the mystery. But what I will allow in the context of what that is that I will essentially allow you to change something about what was true. So in this final mystery, you can essentially metaphysically rewrite reality so that one piece of it is different than it was, if you want to do that. I'll remind you that one piece that you haven't dealt with is, where is Luna? She disappeared, but to where? Is she still somewhere? Does she still exist? Is she okay?
So since I can pick 2, and I did wanted the one to shift reality, so to go with that, I will go with the thing that is bring something back from the dream.
Yeah.
And it is the original Luna, the one, not the one who, the one that tried to warn us, the one that tried to leave the messages about the apocalypse.
Oh, so yeah. So the Luna, the pilot, yeah.
Right.
Yes, the one that people like and miss. I'm bringing her back through the dream.
Okay. And so that's one of the things, and the other one was the implant the suggestion.
Yes,
The suggestion that, like, you know what? Look, this isn't worth it. This seems like a lot of trouble. Why don't you just go back over to the other side and close this rift and just take a nap? That kind of thing.
Yes, because I'll be here each time you open it.
Uh-huh. So I think that what we see is this impact of Myron bearing this shadow spear, and then as you strike this creature's roiling monstrous flesh with this, enormous jet of water propelling you from behind, there's a flash into the interiority where so if we suddenly imagine that Myron and this monster are just having an ordinary conversation, where is it happening? In the dreamscape. So it can be anywhere. It's just paint the scene.
I would say, because I'm just working with food here, the greasiest spoon diner ever. Like, you look at it and you're like, I know I'm going to get sick from this, but they have the best omelets.
So I love that. So we have this diner. You've got a line cook with a stained apron and a beanie cap, rolled up sleeves with tattooed arms behind the counter, who is cooking sausage patties. And you've got a cigarette smoking waitress and lots of other various customers of the type that might be in a diner at, say, 3 a.m. But then at one booth in the corner, we have Myron in your
They have
blob-like
slug-
monstrous form.
Yes.
And then on the other end of this booth, you have the human-sized version of this monster that seems to be just constantly shifting, like unable to decide on its final form. And
Are the staff and other customers all other Rift class monsters in Halima?
oh no, they're all just humans.
Normal humans.
Oh.
Just normal
They're all just humans, and you're not getting any funny looks because at this kind of diner, people mind their own business. So this monster is communicating with you on this level, and it looks around and it's, what is this? What is happening?
Well, I kind of know, but kind of don't. But that's not the important part. The important part is you should definitely go back to where you came from, because I've already taken one L tonight. I don't want to take another. So I will eat you if you don't. I have to, out of principle and out of holding onto my own pride as a creature who loves to ingest living other creatures. Because I watched someone do an epic level feat. Mind you, I'm an epic level thing too, but I'm very jealous. So we can cut this short, we'll have a great meal, but honestly, you should definitely go back. And because if I don't eat you, they've obviously got it itching for me. So let bygones be bygones.
So I think that there will be a moment where the monster starts to like get riled up and is like, you would dare claim that you would eat me? And then I think there's just a split second flash of, again, what's happening in reality, which is this enormous Myron like jabbing this thing back through the rift with an enormous sphere with like 8 million tons of water, high pressure water at his back. And then back in the diner, and then it's kind of like, okay, well, I don't want any trouble.
Oh no! No one from this side will come to your side. I understand. It's, to be fair, we figured out that they were trying to power things. And also, we've got some weird mech robot things coming too. I don't know where they came from. I've got a weird friend who loves to hang out with dead people, so it might be his. I don't know. But
I was just sleeping when they bothered me.
we'll have to talk about that. Do you could give me some of your complaints. I will. You can't hide your heart from me. I'll spend my last darkness point and
Okay, yeah. When you want to, you're sensitive to the surface thoughts and strongest feelings of those around you. Deepen your senses. Spend darkness tokens and roll. Disastrous success.
Wow.
Oh my
So for this
goodness.
move, disastrous success is their mind bleeds into yours.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
So
boy.
you choose one of those questions from the success, and then they will choose one to ask you as well. And then I will tell you how their heart is corrupted by your power, and you will gain one bond with them.
What since I know they were afraid of me, I will say because I wanted to know what they had to complain since they were sleeping, I'll say, what do you wish would happen now? Since you're gonna go back through this portal, what would you like to wish happen now from our side?
Let me think. What would it want? Because its plan was so carefully conceived and planned out in meticulous detail. I have all these note cards about it, right? Because it's not something that was determined entirely by a dice roll. I think so. I think what it wants. You're seeing it there across this greasy spoon diner table. You're in a booth in the corner. I think you're just as you're having this heart to heart moment. The waitress comes over and puts 2 plates full of greasy eggs in front of you, and it interrupts for a moment. But then, as she walks away, this monster just kind of hangs its closest approximation to a head and just says, "I've just been so lonely."
Oh.
Well, you know what? In this instance, because I do love marking ruin,
Oh God.
I will
Speed run.
I have a move called Dark Puppet Strings. The darkness wants to be molded by you and yearns for your control. When you take this move, create a puppet made from the dark and twisted thoughts that you have collected over the years. Describe 2 emotions it can feel and understand.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh
Oh my God.
so because I'm terrible, I'm gonna have it no fear, specifically the fear of loss,
Okay.
and devotion to this creature and to helping it complete its task, which is not to let the portal open again.
I just kind of
Oh, you're
realized
giving
you've
it
given
a
it.
puppet.
Well, I was going to say you've given it a puppy.
Oh,
It feels devotion and fear of loss.
Yeah,
Here's the best part. I can mark 1 ruin to leash it to me, and it will wait for my next commands. And when the first time you do this, you name it, and it will see you as its parent.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
again, I will mark. Can I mark? Instead of marking 1 ruin to lash it to me, can I mark
you want to leash it to?
multiple ruin and lash it to the creature?
Yeah. No. Hey. You think
Have
I'm in the
at it.
business of saying no in this game? No, I think
That
that's
is-
incredible.
That's
I kind
cool.
of was joking about it looking like a dog. What does it look like?
a dog, but it's from the movie The Thing.
Yes. Yes, it is that amalgamation of dogs from the kennel scene,
Oh God.
But,
But- but it sounds like a regular dog. Like, it doesn't make the horrible sounds. Like, it's got the most adorable bark ever.
it, it barks like a corgi.
my
Yes!
God, look at you. You're the most precious little thing. And like they're just like various like pseudopods and tendrils are like
And
entwining
eyes
with
just
each
kind of
other and,
opening up
like,
on its sides and his mouths and stuff. Yeah.
And then so this monster, before you sort of finish this up, actually gets to ask a question of you also, Myron, and I think it decides to ask you the same question. What do you wish would happen?
Byron thinks about it for a second, and he's like, He's like, honestly, before I witnessed what I witnessed earlier, I would have said something big enough to come through so I could eat. But alas, that has been taken from me. So at this point, maybe go on a date with the boss. Still want to know the story behind that eye.
The monster is kind of like,
Huh?
Thanks for sharing that. Just in case it was unclear, I can't like grant that as a wish or anything. I mean, like I don't have the power to make that true, but it's a bonding thing that we've been able to open our hearts to each other in this way. And like you were able to make this great dog with me, that would be great. But like all my powers are kind of like contingent on me manifesting on the other side. So like I can't like make her go on a date with you, and that would be ethically ambiguous anyway, right? Like I mean, not even ambiguous, really, just kind of straight up awful. But you know what? I believe in you, man. Like if you want moral support, like just like give me a call. Like if you're having trouble like psyching yourself up, you know what? Call me and I'll tell you how great you are.
The Byron's like, thank you. That's very sweet. I'm glad I didn't eat you.
Well, me too. And
God.
then back in the real world, we watch as this creature just sort of vanishes back into the rift closing behind it. Myron standing there, colossal, like a gigantic blob-shaped Aquaman with the spear of darkness, just in time for this whirlpool to collapse and fill in all the water there. And the rift has closed. And it's a good thing too, because Mysterious Base on Island Zero is in rough shape.
And also, we have an uncontrolled. Well, it's technically controlled, but someone is wearing a kaiju. Right
Well,
now.
I mean, when the rift closes, what happens to all the monsters?
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a good question. I think that the monsters that have already come through remain. I think that they find that there is a psychic presence in their mind that has gone, that has cleared it up for them. So the Halama that have already been on this side and psychically bonded, or have otherwise just chosen to side with humanity, remain. I think that this is something that gets worked out with them in a while. I think there would be some discussion needing to happen of like, okay, well, what is the plan now if the rift is gone and we don't have to worry about more rift monsters coming through? What are you going to do next? Because I don't think Disneyland...
Palomar Park.
Yeah!
I was gonna go with the Halamar Construction Company, maybe.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, somebody's going to need to rebuild this stuff.
That
and,
is true.
True.
Yeah.
And
Multiple
now that
appendage
there's no
losses.
like security issues going on,
Mhm.
Well, I imagine there's still.
the tourist dollars are going to be just incredible.
Mhm.
I mean,
And of course, we know that it's impossible for any of these things to actually reproduce.
and the water ride potential of the Lady Dinosaur
Mm.
log flume.
Yeah. So do
Actually,
you
no.
think all of you kind of hang out to help rebuild for a while, or what?
If they let us, I have a feeling there might be a no
They-
fucking way are you letting you
They-
hear
they might-
anything
they-
at this point.
They make them.
Mhm.
So wait a minute. So did Luna get pulled back through the dream?
Yes,
And-
yeah, and so I think that is something that as the chaos of the whirlpool collapses, and once the psychic connection with this first monster was broken, the nightmare manifestation that Myron had generated seeps away, and he returns to his normal size, and revealing that next to him, as he shrinks down, he is now apparently also riding the back of the enormous Halama that was Luna's paired creature, and with Luna sitting next to him, and she looks to you and just kind of says, "You would not believe that guy's apartment." Um, so here's the thing. I think that that actually might be a good spot to kind of go, we
Yeah.
can end it on that note. We
Yeah.
can kind of do our finishing moves. And just as a note for all of our viewers and or listeners, we have decided that for now, this will be the last of our Apocalypse Keys mysteries. We'll go ahead and finish up the session moves here, but then we will be doing a couple of other little one-shots or mini campaigns for a little bit, and then we'll be starting up a new D&D adventure in the new year. And so no episode next week, though. And I don't know why I'm wrapping things up when we're not actually done yet, because first we have to resolve everybody's end of session moves.
Yes.
So Myron, as the sort of, the MVP?
MVP.
Definitely MVP here. Yeah.
Would you like to go first?
I would, and I would also like to apologize to the listeners because last week and before I said I would get to eat something, and I did not.
Oh.
And I did not.
Hmm.
Sorry, maybe not so much.
You got kicked out of the dream even before you got to eat your eggs at the diner.
Exactly.
It looked so good too.
Yeah.
There's a little flick of eggshell there, but you could tell it was just going to be delicious anyway.
Yeah, you have to take the good with the bad. Sometimes, if the ice cream cone looks delicious and you drop it, you just got to keep eating. It's fine. But did you use
4,000 dogs can't be wrong.
Exactly. Did you use emotions or memories of another to create a cruel advantage? Yeah, I definitely did. Even pulled. By the way, sorry to your boss there, John. I think I took someone from them.
Well, she wasn't dead. She was just elsewhere.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Better.
That's what my report's going to say, anyways. You're welcome.
We need the cubicle business of death where it's like, where are those TPS reports?
Yeah. Well, so I think that officially in her file, Luna was as in the category that is referred to as lost in time and space, and she was brought back, thankfully. So not dead. Therefore, it's kind of a gray area.
And she's not going to live forever. So
Right. Yeah. She's
Yeah.
She's still mortal.
yeah.
Thankfully, I'm glad I could have messed that up. That what came back could have been wrong. Did you express your monstrous nature, express your humanity? I did. Did you learn something significant about yourself or your impending ruin? Yeah, that I need to find a way to curb my appetite because I just get really hangry and when you're hangry, I reached for the Snickers and there was none.
This time you were hungry for victory.
I was, and or at least parody because Lady Dana again outshone me. Did you learn something significant about a fellow monster? Yes, that Lady Dana will eat anything. Literally anything.
This surprises you.
But you ate a section of the ocean.
We definitely need to have a pie eating contest between Mirren and Lady Dana.
But we unlocked the door, I guess. So.
Yay.
Okay, that's more stuff. It's fun. I thought about making the nightmare coming through being Clem the turtle. I couldn't make it work.
What else has he got down in that shell?
Everything.
Yeah, that was fun.
So, so I think we didn't uncover any new keys this time, but everyone did
we
unlock
unlocked
Doom's Door. So, all right, that was everything, right?
Yep.
Okay, who would like to go next?
I will. Mine's easy.
Okay.
Did you prioritize division's interests over your fellow monsters? And I think when it came to attempting to unlock Doom's Door, in, without like worrying about the
Hmm,
other monsters. I think that counts.
sure.
Learn something significant about yourself and or your impending ruin. Well, I took my first ruin advance this time.
Mm.
I didn't actually get a chance to use it, but when I looked through at it, it's basically allows me to, somebody who's marking their last condition, I can say, no, 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 you're not dead yet. And mark ruin
Taking the condition.
taking the condition.
That's cool.
So
That's
um,
interesting.
or actually it clears two conditions.
Oh, wow.
So it brings you back from, gone to still having a good chance. But I never got a chance to actually play that. So I'm not going to mark XP for that yet. That'll come later.
All right.
If we ever play these guys again.
Sure.
I was thinking that if we screwed this up and world destroyed, it's like, well, that clears up how the campaign ends, but it didn't work out that way.
Incidentally, if the clock ticks to 8, you end up with new rifts opening up all over the world. So
Yeah, I think that's the
Yeah.
end of the universe as we know it.
Yeah. So learn something significant about a fellow monster. No, not really, but we did unlock Doomstore, so I guess get 1 XP this time.
all right.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm also easy. Did I give into the power of my prophecy? No, not really. Did I express my monstrous nature or express my humanity? I did try to hold back a tsunami, but with full strength. So yes. I learned something significant about myself, my impending ruin. Not really. Except the fact that I'm way too impulsive. Did I learn something about a fellow monster? I didn't see the Myron stuff until after it was done. So no. And I did help with the Doom's Door, so 2 XP.
I will say I'm sorry for not bringing your prophecy into it more. I kept meaning
Yeah.
to find places and then never got around to it.
Oh well.
All right. So okay, great. So we've still got.
Okay, so, um, did you allow yourself to find hope in the arms of another monster? Things didn't go bad enough to actually really allow that
Well,
to.
you did
Huh?
use 5 points worth of bonds to,
Including
avert a
mine,
miss.
so-
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that.
I think that counts. You hope to save me
Okay.
after I use my strength poorly.
Did you express your monstrous nature and or express your humanity? I I saved my friends.
Yes,
And
you
they might
did.
not see themselves as friends, but I saved my friends.
Oh no, we're not friends. We're family. I have the move to prove it with the +3, so we're
Ah.
family.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll take it. Did you learn something significant about yourself and or your impending ruin? I think I came to the conclusion that um I think I would become a harbinger because I want to save those I care about. Like I will end myself and everything else for them to live.
All right.
Okay. I got that.
Did you learn something significant about a fellow monster? Not particularly. I know, like the closest would have been John and the mecha, but you know what? He's done weird stuff with technology before, so
And yeah, technology, magic, and death. Yeah, that's not exactly news.
I mean he's made his own mecha before, so yeah. And I did the Doomstar, so that's
Okay.
oh.
All right. Well, last
All
but not
right.
least.
All right. So for my impulse, I took surrender to the hunger within you at the worst possible moment. I think trying to swallow the entire ocean would definitely be
Ambitious.
ambitious, and particularly since I decided not to take the tsunami itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was being a bit selfish with what I was taking. Express my monstrous nature. Yeah.
Yeah.
Learn something significant about myself and or my impending ruin. Yeah, I'm getting to know the almost the fact that there are no limits, and that's a little scary.
Hmm.
Um, learn something significant about another monster. Damn, Myron, didn't know you were going to be so jealous. And we did. Um, I wasn't part of the any of those Unlock Doom's Doors attempts,
Well, I
or
mean,
but we
everyone
did it as
kind
a
of
group.
does, right? You know, it's like in the meta sense, even if the
Yeah.
character wasn't there.
And I think there's going to be a fairly interesting, like, the post credit scene
Hmm.
is of me disconnecting from my Halimar.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I was going to pitch that actually. So tell me
Yeah.
what that scene is.
So we get back and, like, see the devastation
Mhm.
of the facility and such, and the I'm forgetting my Halimar's name,
The
but
it was Prisma Latitude.
Prisma, yeah. So Prisma is going to feel like somewhat sad at seeing the destruction, and the Prisma's regular pilot
Well,
comes
recall.
out.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
well, it basically in the evacuation, because
Hmm.
tsunami waters and all
Right.
that, the pilot is like, there's now there's they're beginning to do the makeshift
Hmm.
hospital on an open, somewhat like debris swept area. And when we see that, and knowing that Prisma's pilots down there,
Mm.
it's like that. I I want to help her,
Yeah.
coming much more from Prisma than me. That's my sign that this is now over. So um basically I start disconnecting, but trying to do so in a way that we make sure that there's no belching
Sure. Yeah. The chlorine.
chlorine.
Yeah.
Right.
Like maybe develop, like, do some genetic
You
tinkering
know what?
to
I bet through the mysterious, ineffable qualities of your bonding with them, you have managed to neutralize whatever it was that was causing that.
Okay. I was about to, like there's now like basically a little genetic tweaking, so that
Hmm.
it converts whatever
Yeah.
it is into regular oxygen instead of chlorine gas, and safely disposes of the chlorine
Yeah.
part.
Nice.
And like slowly disentangle myself, um but in such a way that I can, like, drop down to the ground, separated from Prisma
Hmm.
by this hospital.
Nice.
And, like, I'll go over to where the pilot is, like, take care of him, and then walk off.
Nice. The joke version of that scene that I was going to pitch was your friends talking to you, trying to pry you off of Prisma, saying, "Drop it, drop it."
Oh yeah, I could have done that, but it's like
Yours was much nicer.
I'm doing the cinematic walk
Yeah,
off.
yeah. Lovely. Okay, so was that it? Do we did or did was
I think that's
Yeah.
it for everyone.
Okay,
Or at
well.
least going through these
All
moments.
right. So there are questions left behind, of course. Who would win the pie eating contest? Can Myron truly persuade Sarge to go on a date? Will Ningle's prophecy ever come up? Will Pandorum truly be the last? Will John Deere get a promotion?
Oh,
have to find out at some point in the future if and when we ever once again play Apocalypse Keys on so many levels.
So many levels.
Hello, levels.